It is the time to discuss radar clutter. We have already discussed a lot of things related to radar in this last part of this lecture series. We are now going to discuss radar clutter, not in details but briefly. Clutter is the unwanted echo from the natural environment. It includes echoes from land, sea, weather, birds, and insects. The electronic warfare technique known as chaff is usually considered as clutter since it is unwanted and resembles clutter from rain. Clutter is generally distributed in spatial extent in that it is much larger in physical size than the radar resolution cell. There are also point or discrete clutter echoes such as towers, buildings, etc. Large clutter echoes can mask echoes from desired targets and limit radar capability. When clutter is much larger than receiver noise, the optimum radar waveform and signal processing can be quite different from that employed when only receiver noise is the dominant limitation on sensitivity. For remote sensing purpose, these natural clutters are measured to determine the properties of the features of environment. Echoes from land or sea are examples of surface clutter. Echoes from rain and chaff are examples of volume clutter. The magnitude of the echo from the distributed surface clutter is proportional to the area illuminated. In order to have a measure of clutter echo that is independent of the illuminated area, the clutter cross-section per unit area, denoted by symbol sigma 0, is commonly used to describe surface clutter, given by sigma 0 equal to sigma c divided by AC, where the sigma c is the radar cross-section of the clutter occupying an area AC, and sigma 0 is also called the scattering coefficient, differential scattering cross-section, normalized radar sensitive reflectivity, backscattering coefficient, and normalized radar cross-section. Similarly, a cross-section per unit volume is used to characterize volume clutter, that is defined as eta equal to sigma c divided by Vc, where sigma c is the radar cross-section of the clutter that occupies a volume Vc. Clutter cross-section per unit volume eta is sometimes called the reflectivity. Now consider the surface clutter radar equation. So this is the radar, so this is the surface, and this is the angle phi, which is the incident angle, or you can call it as grazing angle. So consider the surface clutter equation for low grazing angle. That means this phi is small enough. Here the extent of the resolution cell in the range dimension is determined by the radar pulse width tau rather than the elevation beam width. The cross range width is r into theta b, where theta b is the azimuth beam width. From simple radar equation, the single power returned from the target is, that we have already discussed, S equal to Pt GAE sigma t divided by 4 pi whole square r to the power 4. Simple radar equation. Here sigma t is the target cross section. Now power C received from clutter can be written in the similar way. Instead of writing sigma t for target, we are writing now sigma c for clutter. That is, sigma c is a0 into ac, and sigma 0 r theta b c tau by 2 sec phi, right here. This is the area. This AC is the area of the radar resolution cell. From radar equation, we can write the surface clutter echo signal power C equal to PT GAE sigma 0 theta b c tau by 2 sec phi divided by 4 pi whole square r to the power 3. Putting this value here. This one here. For high clutter power, the signal to clutter ratio or SCR can be written as S by C equal to sigma t divided by sigma 0 r theta b c tau by 2 sec phi. Now when r equal to r max, the left hand side should be minimum to S by C mean. Then the radar equation for the detection of target in presence of surface clutter at low grazing angle can be written as r max equal to sigma t divided by S by C mean sigma 0 theta b c tau by 2 sec phi. So this is the equation that we can use for the surface clutter at low grazing angle. Effect of clutter versus noise. Effect of clutter is different from noise. Integration of pulses increases the SNR, but SCR remains unaffected, almost unaffected. Long pulse is desired when the radar is dominated by noise so as to increase the SNR, but a long pulse decreases the signal to clutter ratio. Now we have to consider the case of high grazing angle. Here the clutter area viewed by the radar is determined by the antenna beam width theta b and phi b in the two principal planes. Hence the clutter illuminated area AC equal to half of pi by 4 r theta b r phi b sin phi. The factor pi by 4 accounts for the elliptical shape of the illuminated area, and the factor of 2, this one, rather half, it should be 1 by 2. So 2 in the denominator means 1 by 2 actually is necessary, since in this case theta b and phi b are the one-way beam. So letting PR equal to C and taking G equal to pi square theta b phi b, the clutter radar equation becomes C equal to pi pt AE sigma 0 divided by 128 r square sin phi. The clutter power is even seen to vary inversely as a square of the range. That is evident here. Depending on the grazing angle, the surface clutter shows three scattering regions. So here in y-axis, sigma 0 is plotted against the grazing angle in degree. So for low grazing angle, right here, we have shadowing and multipath interference like this. At medium grazing angle, we have rough surface like this, and for large grazing angle, we have facet backscatter like this. So let us see what are these things. Facet backscatter. At high grazing angles, the radar echo is high and is due mainly to reflections from clutter that can be presented as a number of individual planar facets oriented so that the incident energy is directed back to the radar like this one. Rough surface, this is for medium range of grazing angle, and intermediate grazing angles scattering is somewhat similar to that from a rough surface, almost. And finally, the shadowing and multipath interference occurs at low grazing angle. Shadowing of the trough regions by the crest of waves prevents low-lying scatterers from being illuminated. Multipath reduces the energy propagating at low angles because of cancellation of the direct energy by the out-of-phase surface reflected energy. Now we will consider the land clutter for low grazing angles. Most of the significant land clutter echoes at low angles come from specially localized or discrete vertical features associated with the high regions of the visible land space, like trees, buildings, fences, etc. Over the range of depression angle, the mean clutter strengths increase and the cell-to-cell fluctuations decreases with increasing angle. The difference between vertical and horizontal polarization is small, typically about 1 to 2 dB. The variation of clutter echo due to weather or season is small, usually less than 1.5 dB or 3 dB respectively. The effect of vertical discrete objects on the overall clutter strength is large even when they are relatively sparse. When a ground-based radar experiences strong clutter from visible terrain at ranges of 100 km or more, it is generally due to echoes from mountains that rise high enough to be within the line of sight of the radar. Forests provide mean clutter echoes at VHF that are 10 to 15 dB stronger than at microwaves. Clutter from farmland is 20 to 30 dB less at VHF than at microwaves. Although the mean value of the clutter echo signal does not depend on resolution, the variation of the clutter echo amplitude is a function of resolution. Smaller the resolution cell, the less the averaging within the cell, and the greater is the variation from cell to cell. Different types of clutter might have the same mean value but different statistical variations. The most likely day-to-day difference in the mean clutter strength is 0.2 dB and the average difference is about 1 dB. It is said that the most salient feature of land clutter is its variability. This needs to be kept in mind when designing a radar to detect targets in presence of clutter. Now, land clutter for medium grazing angles. Land clutter is sometimes described by the parameter gamma, defined as gamma equal to sigma 0 divided by sin phi, where phi is the grazing angle. The values of gamma are said to apply over a wide range of frequencies, but they are frequency dependent, as evident here. So we have different band of frequency, L band, X band, Ku band, and though the nature of variation are almost identical, but their values are different depending on the frequency, band of frequency. So here clutter is plotted along y-axis, and the x-axis we have the grazing angle. The frequency dependence of gamma can be expressed as gamma equal to gamma 10 plus 5 log f by 10, where gamma 10 is the value of gamma at 10 GHz. Also, gamma can vary depending on the terrain. So if we have cities, the gamma will vary in this way. If we have open woods, then the variation will be like this. For desert, we have this variation, and so on. So depending on the various terrain, we have different variation of gamma. Land clutter for high grazing angles. Scattering in this regime is due to those facets that reflect incident energy back to the radar. When determining the value of sigma 0, the effect of antenna pattern shape and antenna gain must be taken into account. Because of finite antenna beam width, measured values of sigma 0 are sometimes lower than actual. Since the maximum gain G of an antenna is approximately equal to pi square by theta b whole square, the value of sigma 0 is sigma 0 equal to 8 by theta b square equal to 8g by pi square, nearly equal to G. Thus, antenna gain can have significant effect on sigma 0. The value of sigma 0 at normal incidence is generally larger than unity. That is, radar cross section is greater than the area of the radar resolution cell. The radar echo. Now we will consider the sea clutter. The radar echo from the sea, when viewed at low grazing angles, is generally smaller than the echo from land. It usually does not extend as far in range as land clutter and is more uniform over the ocean of the world than typical land clutter. The difficulty in dealing with sea echo is that the surface of the sea continuously changes with time. The nature of the radar echo of clutter from the sea depends upon the shape of the sea surface. Echoes are obtained from those parts of the sea whose scale size, that is the roughness, are comparable in dimension to the radar wavelength. In shape or roughness of the sea depends on wind. Sea clutter also depends on the pointing direction of the radar antenna beam relative to the direction of the wind. The temperature of the water relative to that of the air is also thought to have an effect on sea clutter. Now consider the features of sea clutter. At high grazing angle, that is above 45-degree angle, sea clutter is independent of polarization and frequency. Sea clutter with vertical polarization is larger than the horizontal polarization. Sea clutter with vertical polarization is approximately independent of frequency. At low grazing angles, sea clutter with horizontal polarization decreases with decreasing frequency. So this is the variation at different band. So this is horizontal polarization X band, this is vertical polarization X band. So that reveals the dependence on horizontal and vertical polarization for low grazing angle. This is for high grazing angle, and this is for almost 90-degree grazing angle. So as you can see, it is much larger. Here we have plotted the wind speed. In x-axis we have the wind speed. So effect of wind, the variations C clutter and the wind speed for different grazing angle that we have already said. C clutter is largest when the radar look into the wind, which is called the upwind. Smallest when looking with the wind, that is the downwind, and intermediate when looking perpendicular to the wind, that is the crosswind. Now consider the features of C clutter. C clutter with high resolution antenna, high resolution radar which that reveals the C spikes. The individual echoes seen with high resolution radar are called the C spikes. They are sporadic and have duration of the order of seconds. They are non-stationary in time, especially homogeneous, and have a probability density function that is non-Rayleigh. C spikes are important since they are major cause of radar clutter at the higher microwave frequencies at low grazing angles with any radar resolution. One characteristic of C spike is a relatively rapid and high percentage pulse-to-pulse amplitude modulation. C spikes are associated with breaking waves or waves about to break. The non-Rayleigh PDF of C spikes leads to enhancement of recession threshold to reduce the probability of false alarm, but this will in turn decrease the probability of detection. To avoid this conflict, one can delete the C spikes from the receiver by recognizing its characteristic amplitude modulation, or can use a receiver with log-log input-output characteristics. So these are basically the C spikes. This is the target and these are the C spikes. So in presence of this type of C spikes, it is very difficult for us to identify the presence of target. Now C clutter at low grazing angle. Clutter at very low grazing angles differ from that at high angles because of shadowing, ducted propagation, and the changing angle at which the radar ray strikes the fluctuating sea surface. So here we use Bragg's scattering model. So this is the wave. So wave is reflected, this is this water wave, and electromagnetic wave is reflected from this peak, from this peak, from this peak, etc. So this is the LW is the wavelength of this surface. This model assumes the C wave as sinusoidal in nature, the Bragg resonant condition relative to the radar wavelength lambda r and the water wavelength lambda w for a grazing angle psi can be written as lambda r equal to twice lambda w cos psi. Bragg scatter forms the theoretical basis for remote sensing of sea and wind conditions over the sea with high frequency radar. Because of highly variable nature of clutter echoes, it is often described by a probability density function or probability distribution. The word distribution indicated the statistical nature of the phenomena. So we have to consider the statistical model for surface clutter. So first consider the Rayleigh distribution. This model is based on the assumption that there are a large number of randomly located independent and identical scatterers within the clutter surface area illuminated by the radar. If the radar receiver uses a linear detector, the PDF of the voltage envelope of the Rayleigh distribution platter at the receiver output, that can be written as PV equal to 2V by M2 exponential minus V square by M2 for V greater than equal to 0, where M2 is the mean square value or the second moment of the envelope V. So this is the distribution function for Rayleigh distribution. The mean M1, the first moment, is M2 pi by 4 whole square, and the median is M2 log 2 whole to the power half. So that the mean to median ratio, that can be written as pi by 4 log 2 whole to the power half, that is 1.06, or in decibel we can write 0.27 decibel. The mean of the Rayleigh distribution is proportional to the standard deviation, or standard deviation equal to 4 by pi minus 1 whole to the power half into mean, that is 0.523 into mean. The Rayleigh PDF of V normalized to its median Vm rather than the mean square value can be written as Pvn equal to 2 log 2 Vn exponential minus log 2 Vn to the Vn whole square for Vn greater than equal to 0, where Vn equal to V by Vm. Now we will consider the log normal distribution. Rayleigh scatterer model usually applies when the radar resolution cell is large so that it contains many identical scatterers. When the resolution cell size and the grazing angle is small, a log normal model may be used, which have higher probability of getting large values of clutter, that is the higher trails, than is given by the Rayleigh model. The log normal PDF for the echo power when the receiver has a square law detector can be written as P as a function of P equal to 1 by root over 2 pi SP exponential minus half s square into log P by Pm whole square for P greater than 0, where P is the input power, S is the standard deviation of log P, Pm is the median value of P. The ratio of the mean to median is exponential s square by 2. With linear receiver, the PDF of the normalized output voltage amplitude Vn equal to V by Vm, with Vm equal to median value of V, which is given by Pvn equal to 2 by square root 2 pi Svn exponential minus 2 by s square log Vn whole square for Vn greater than 0. This distribution function is specified by two parameters, standard deviation and median. That is why it can be made to fit experimental data better than Rayleigh distribution, because it is more flexible. Next is the Weibull distribution. It is a two-parameter family that can be made to fit clutter measurements that lie between the Rayleigh and the log normal. If V is the amplitude of the voltage out of a linear detector, the Weibull PDF of the normalized amplitude Vn equal to V by Vm is given by Pvn equal to alpha log 2 Vn to the power alpha minus 1 exponential minus log 2 Vn to the power alpha, with Vn greater than 0, where alpha is a parameter that relates the skewness of the distribution and Vm equal to median value of the distribution. When alpha equal to 2, the distribution will take the form of Rayleigh, and when equal to 1, it is the exponential PDF. With a square law detector, the Weibull PDF for the power p equal to v square can be written as p as a function of pn equal to beta log 2 pn to the power beta minus 1 exponential minus log 2 pn to the power beta with pn greater than 0, where beta equal to alpha by 2, pn equal to p by pm, pm equal to vn square, that is the median value of p. The Weibull distribution has been applied to land clutter, sea clutter, weather clutter, etc. Another distribution function is the K distribution. The K distribution PDF describing the voltage amplitude x is Px equal to twice beta gamma v, beta in x divided by 2 to the power v, kv minus 1 bx, beta x rather. The beta is the scale parameter that relates to the mean of the clutter sigma 0. Gamma is the gamma function. V is the shape parameter which depends on the higher moment in relation to the mean, and kv, k suffix v, is the modified Bessel function of second kind. K distribution is applicable to C clutter. The value of v decreases with the increasing cell size. When v tends to infinity, the K distribution is same as that of the Rayleigh. Other distributions that have been proposed for describing the statistics of clutter include contaminated normal, Riccian, Rice squared, gamma, log Weibull, etc. But we are not going to discuss every kind of distribution function. We have tried to give you some idea of some of the distribution functions. Probability distribution has been of interest for providing a concise description of the amplitude statistics of the clutter. They are the curve fitting models used to describe experimental data. So, as you can see, this figure reveals the differences of different kind of distribution functions. So here Rayleigh and Weibull with alpha equal to 2. So this is the distribution. Now Weibull with alpha equal to 0.5 is having this type of distribution. Now log normal with S equal to 1.5 will have this type of distribution. So shape of the distribution changes with different parameters and different type of distribution function. Now detection of targets in presence of clutter. When the clutter is larger than receiver noise, different radar design method needs to be employed for target detection. There is no one method that works equally well for the detection of all targets in various type of clutter. The major techniques available to the radar designer may be summarized as: the Doppler frequency shift in MTI and pulse Doppler radar is the powerful method for separating moving targets from stationary clutter. High resolution in range and or angle reduces the amount of clutter with which the target must compete, thus increasing the signal to clutter ratio. Generally, for many types of clutter, the lower radar frequencies produce smaller echo power. The use of polarization discrimination can increase the target to clutter ratio from some types of clutter, such as rain. Clutter echo decorrelation by observing the target and clutter at different times or with different frequencies has some limited potential for allowing improved detectability. There are also techniques that help to avoid such saturations of the receiver due to large clutter echoes. These can be important to good radar performance even though they do not increase the target to clutter ratio. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for your attention.